In this episode, I continued my chat with Carlin, a freelance creative and owner-operator of Carlin and Camera. I'm keen to reinforce Carlin's approach, which encourages creating opportunities for representation rather than waiting for permission from someone else. We talked more about cultural diversities and barriers faced by LGBT and POC people of color in the Australian media landscape. We also talked about the realities of freelancing. There are challenges of work-life balance, but there are also healings that comes from creativity. Here's part 2 of my chat with Carlin.
We're going to go a little bit deeper about the stories, like and different situation as a freelancer that comes across. Now, can you share with us a little bit about what a typical day with your line of work is like?
Yeah, I'd say these days, a typical day for me is actually really well-rounded. I think I get to dip my toes in a lot of different activities. I operate with this project management tool that I've created in Notion. And essentially, I operate using a design process and the design phases. So, all the way from pitch through to production and delivery. So at any stage, I look at the list of jobs or clients that I have at the moment, and they're all kind of at different stages in the production process. So that's very exciting. I usually start my day focusing on pitching or concept development or ideation. And then I follow through with a lot of photo or video editing, as well as some admin work in the afternoons. And on a really busy day, I'll come back after dinner and I'll maybe just do some future planning or some kind of monotonous, mindless tasks, such as exporting photos to post on social media. So I'll have them all stored in my phone or queued up. So it's funny. I think I found a groove now where I do a little bit of everything throughout my day, and I find that it's helpful to do them at certain times to create some routine or kind of familiarity.
Lovely. And doing pitching is better than just doing pitching around, just pitching about the world. Yeah.
Sure.
But you have been including some break time in your routine, have you?
I have, yes. I have recognized the importance of exercise in keeping a really clear mind. And so I like to start my day just practicing some mindfulness, and I do some journaling and take a walk around the block if I need.
We seem to have a bit of a connection lost there.
Oh,
why don't we take a little break? Maybe we can do a little bit of a word association. The first word is work-life balance.
Imbalance. I think I see balance because I now realize how much work goes into running your own freelance business. I think I underestimated how much time and energy the admin or the back of house tasks and duties actually take up. And I do find myself kind of juggling a lot of things. And while I do love it, and while I am excited to be doing the work to kind of position myself in a place where I can successfully run my freelance business in a few years' time, and kind of establish myself a bit more. I acknowledge that it is a very time-consuming and energy-consuming kind of aspect in my life at the moment. So a lot of what I do is centered around the business right now.
Fair enough, fair enough. And it is a really big part of life. It is fascinating because like at the moment I would love to apply for a grant for this podcast, but researching that, going into all of the paperwork, I was like, you know what, I'll just do this very homemade scenario. You really want to help pushing cultural diversity. Could you share a little bit more about your thoughts about that?
I think as someone with lived experience, I met so many talented, creative people of color, of various gender and various sexual orientation as well. There is so much talent and potential here, but a lack of opportunity that reflects that or allows for that to blossom into something that could be quite lovely and useful and beneficial to wider society. I think the industry right now is very gate-kept and quite hard to break into. I want to change things a little bit and I want to open up. I want to create campaigns where POC people are at the forefront and not a kind of extra in the background or the minority hire for the job. I think I want to create images and media that reflects the population split that is reflected in what we see all around us as we walk around, and I think there's still a big gap or that the media right now is still a bit behind in reflecting what Australia looks like and what Australia sounds like and feels like. And I think I want to champion all the POC and queer people that are in my life who are also, striving really hard and trying to overcome these barriers. And I think my goal is to essentially kind of bring that to a level of POC and queer excellence that is undeniable. How can you not just like
Yay!
yeah.
Yay! I remember when I think it's all the way up to the mid 2010s that if I want to see an Asian person on screen, that I'll need to switch on border security. And it's also very true that because there's something about just pitting people with similar description against each other, but not understanding the nuance. But there's one thing that I found really amazing based on what we just talked about is that instead of waiting for a job, you make the job. You're not waiting for someone to give it to you. You just go for it and break barriers. And that was like go for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think after experiencing or living with the impression that if I focus and do my work and it is seen by people, the opportunities will come to me, or someone will present me with an opportunity that will take me to the next level. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that, especially within the media space. I think from what I've learned, a lot of the opportunities are kind of spread through word of mouth. A lot of the time, the person who gets hired is the person who knows someone or who is a culture fit, which in my opinion, I really think that's just I don't know. Every time I hear the word a culture fit, I think gatekeeping, or I think a lack of diversity because I think if you're not openly expanding or understanding that it's an evolving culture and you're only hiring by what is already part of the culture, it doesn't create room for something new or new perspectives. And yeah, I think from what I've observed of like how this media industry moves, you really do have to just throw yourself into the ring and demand and ask for what you want. And yeah, I think that's something I'm still practicing, but I'm realizing now that I'm doing this for myself, but I'm also doing this for all of my friends who are in this space, and I'm no longer wanting to kind of just sit and do the work and hope that it's seen. I think I recognize the position that I'm in and what it is like to be someone in my industry who is a person of color, and yeah, again, no more waiting around.
It's something quite intriguing. The social media and online space is a little bit more democratized. I work with a couple of freelance clients, and I encourage them to put themselves out there online, because it is about, if you don't write your own story, someone's going to say something about you. But I think this is quite interesting because I'm actually planning to record an episode. I have some experience working in the visual art field, and I was actually writing an episode about the experience of being tokenized and what I did to stand up for myself. Even at this point, that not in the creative industry, I still think that people like ourselves that are considered minority in more than one way. Oh, by the way, I now prefer the word intersection, that we intersect different ways. Intersection, because I don't like using the word minority. It's not. The only person that needs to look at myself and be proud of me is me. I don't give a fuck about what other people think. I mean, anyway.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, I swear on my podcast. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Well, look at me. It's only day one. And the thing is, what I believe is, as long as you can build the business case around it. Like, for example, for me, if I build my track record, then there's nothing they can disagree with that. Like, this is the part that I really want to interview you. What you're doing is amazing. You're showing so many representation of people from different states, and I'm sure that you can keep expanding yourself that way. And oh, by the way, speaking of that, what is your Instagram handle for people to find you?
Oh, my Instagram is Carlin and Camera. So it's CARLIN and Camera.
I'll make sure it's on the show notes. And do you have a website to complement that?
I do. It's the same handle. So it's www.carlinandcamera.com.
And it's N as it's spelled out AND instead of ampersand.
That's right.
How did you come up with that name?
I had that name floating around for a little while. I remember trying to decide whether I wanted to operate under a business name or whether I operate under my own name. And I also wanted something that sounded like its own thing, and it's more than just my name, and something that told a story of what I do very succinctly. And I recognize that I am someone who enjoys photography. I'm someone who enjoys videography, creative direction, editing, and I think Carlin and Camera was just kind of like that perfect umbrella title that said that I am just me and a camera and everything that comes along with that. So yeah.
So that means that it's really SEO friendly.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome back, Carlin, and thank you so much for this. Has been quite a much deeper conversation than I anticipated, and thank you for being vulnerable and open with me.
Oh, thank you so much for creating the space and for asking these lovely questions and giving me an opportunity to talk about this stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, and even more shit for you to think about. That's all. And now I am going to throw you into a bunch of random questions. If you have unlimited resources to make a streaming special or a series, what would you like it to be?
A streaming special or series. Whoa. You know what I've really been like inspired and like personally I feel like a really strong connection to is creativity as a tool for people who experience like really crippling depression or anxiety. What I've noticed is that like sometimes, particularly with depression, uh, you know, I myself experience depression from time to time. I have a lot of friends who also feel the same. And I notice how creativity and just kind of doing something with your hands or just making something just is such a powerful way to like bring you back to yourself, your body, your mind. I think it brings a lot of I guess a lot of like comfort. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of something that is very intriguing to me. Yeah.
Wow, that is very interesting. Look, I mean, I'm very open about myself. I've been dealing with anxiety and depression most of my adult life, and it is true that being creative and doing something different and creating something, being hands-on, even as something as simple as hey, putting a podcast together or cooking or just doing that can really help. Now, next question: what is your favorite way to relax and unwind after a Wednesday? I told you it's
Oh,
random.
yes. um, favorite way to unwind and relax. These days, I really have been enjoying a lot of like low light and aroma. And so what I love to do now is like I have my salt lamps in my bedroom. I turn those two salt lamps on. I light a candle. I put on either an incense or like a diffuser with essential oil.
Yeah.
And then I just yeah, maybe journal for a little bit or read a book. I never used to live that sort of evening routine in the past, but now I've started and I love it. And it's just it's like it's so peaceful. So that's my wind down. That's what I would do.
I will give that go. Thank you for the idea. And last but not least, what's a fun fact about yourself that not many people may know?
Ooh, let me think. I think not many people who've followed along on my journey recently would know this because I don't put it anywhere. But I really, really love dancing. I occasionally take a dance class, and I've actually been very involved in the ballroom community here, and
Wow.
the kind of ballroom and Vogue Femme scene. So I do some Vogue Femme dancing.
Oh,
Um, I really enjoy doing it, but it yeah, a lot of people who meet me in my day to day, and I'm like completely um shocked when they hear that, or they're like, "Oh wow," you know, this. Yeah.
Well, that is amazing. Thank you so much for taking part in this episode. Now, for those who are interested, and of course, that please, if you know anyone that in the space that might that Carlin can give a hand with, please refer them.
Thank you so much, Arthur. This was such a lovely conversation, and I appreciate you creating this podcast and creating this opportunity for people like me to speak our minds and then share our ideas. And I am very excited to see where this goes. And thank you.
In 2013 and 14, I ran a pop-up space to promote artists in Sydney's Rozelle. The arts is something that is close to my heart. I went to university to study it and spent a few years pursuing that particular scene. But it wasn't meant to be. One of the deciding factors for stepping away was burnout. The chat with Carlin really resonated with me because I know that one of the most difficult things in working on your own is that anything can happen and you are the only person who must deal with it. If you're about to start, try what Carlin does with a self-built project workflow and factor in mental well-being as part of the routine. Now, if you have already started, please try to fit something in like even a short walk around the block or take 15 minutes to read a book. Give yourself a moment if possible. If someone asked me about my time in Rozelle, I would tell them that I would not change a thing. This part of my personal history really helped me to become the person that I am today. I still enjoy the art as an audience, and it would be nice to keep supporting creative people who are LGBT+ through this podcast. I would love to do more stories like Carlin. Maybe it's about resilience, maybe it's about creativity, or about courage to be yourself. Do you know someone that you would like to recommend? Please send me a message on Instagram. Get Chatty podcast is produced by me, Arthur, the Chatty curator. Thanks for your company. I hope you enjoy this podcast, learn something new, or pick up something helpful to realize your aspirations. The podcast guests are appearing in kind, so please consider supporting the podcast by supporting them. Small moments like liking or sharing on social media, or even tagging a friend about a post can really help. You can find the detail on the show notes or send the episode's dedicated page on chattycurator.com. Until the next episode, thanks for listening and have a great day.